Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve everything they set their mind to, while others stay stuck in the same place for years? It almost feels like they've discovered a secret formula for success, one that the rest of us missed. Here's the truth. Most life-changing transformations don't come from massive, dramatic efforts. They come from something much simpler. Just one focused hour a day. Think about it. 1 hour might not sound like much, but that single, consistent hour can turn a struggling writer into a published author, a tired employee into a thriving entrepreneur, or an ordinary person into the best version of themselves. In this video, I'm going to show you how 1 hour a day can help you achieve every major life goal you've been dreaming about. You'll learn the real science behind small, consistent actions, proven methods used by top performers, and stories of ordinary people who completely transformed their lives. So if you've ever felt stuck, or wondered if you're capable of more, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, we're diving into the first powerful principle that makes this 1 hour habit unstoppable. Let's start with the first principle, the compound effect. Picture this. A young man named Daniel, 28 years old, works a regular office job. He feels stuck, overworked, underpaid, and unsure how to reach his bigger dreams. Like many of us, he used to spend his evenings scrolling through his phone or watching random videos, thinking, I'll start working on my goals tomorrow. One day, Daniel read a single line that hit him hard. Small, consistent actions compound into massive results. He decided to test this idea. Instead of overhauling his entire life, he committed to just 1 hour a day learning about investing and personal finance. At first, it felt almost pointless. An hour of reading books and taking notes, what could that possibly do? But here's where the compound effect, made popular by Darren Hardy, comes in. Just like a single drop of water can start to carve stone if it drips every day, your efforts multiply over time. Science backs this up. Psychologists have shown that 1% daily improvements can lead to exponential growth. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, explains that if you improve just 1% every day, by the end of the year you'll be 37 times better than when you started. That's not motivation talk, that's math. Back to Daniel. After 6 months of sticking to his 1 hour habit, he had finished 5 books, taken an online course, and started applying what he learned. By the end of the first year, he had built a small investment portfolio. By year 3, he owned 2 rental properties and had a new job in finance. Here's the takeaway. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. If you dedicate one focused hour to a single goal every day, your progress will stack like compound interest. And here's the kicker. This principle works in every area of life. 1 hour a day of exercise can completely transform your health in a year. 1 hour of focused skill building can make you valuable in ways your past self wouldn't believe. Now you might be thinking, okay, I get it. Small actions compound. But how do I make sure this habit actually sticks? That brings us to our next powerful principle, a simple method that has helped millions of people improve every single day without feeling overwhelmed. If the compound effect is the engine of long-term success, Kaizen is the fuel that keeps it running every single day. Kaizen is a Japanese word that means continuous improvement through small, steady changes. It's the same philosophy that helped companies like Toyota dominate the global market. Instead of trying to make one massive change, they focused on making tiny improvements day after day until their results became unstoppable. Let me share a story. Emily, 32 years old, was a busy nurse and a single mom. She dreamed of running her own wellness business one day, but felt overwhelmed. Her schedule was chaotic, and she couldn't imagine dedicating hours to learning new skills. Then she discovered the concept of Kaizen. Instead of waiting for the perfect time to start, she decided to commit to just 1 hour every day for her dream. Some days, she spent that hour reading about nutrition and fitness. Other days, she used it to create short posts for a future wellness blog. The first 2 weeks, honestly, they felt slow. She sometimes wondered, is this even working? But by the 3rd month, she had a small but growing audience online. After 6 months, she had a clear business plan and her first paying clients. 1 hour at a time, Kaizen was changing her life. There's a psychological reason this works. Research in behavioral science shows that our brains resist sudden, extreme change, but small improvements feel achievable. Every time you take a small step, your brain releases a little dopamine, reinforcing the habit. It's like telling yourself, see, I can do this, Here's how you can start using Kaizen in your own life. 1. Pick one clear focus. Don't try to fix everything at once. 2. Break it down to the smallest possible action you can do in 1 hour. 3. Track your progress and celebrate the small wins. The key is not speed, but consistency. Remember, Emily didn't build her business in a weekend, but 1 hour a day, compounded over months, took her from dream to reality. And if you're thinking, okay, small steps make sense, But can just 1 hour a day really create extraordinary results for geniuses and top performers? That's where the next principle comes in. A rule that some of history's most brilliant minds swore by. If Kaizen teaches us how to grow step by step, the Genius Hour rule shows us how the world's top minds have turned one focused hour into a lifetime of extraordinary achievement. History is full of examples. Take Benjamin Franklin. In the middle of his busy life as a printer, writer, and politician, he dedicated at least 1 hour every day to deliberate learning, reading, experimenting, or writing. That single habit helped him become one of the most versatile thinkers in history. Fast forward to today. Bill Gates, one of the richest and most influential innovators in the world, is known for his Think Weeks, where he isolates himself to read and think deeply. But even on normal days, Gates always carved out hours for deep learning. Elon Musk famously splits his day into 5-minute blocks, but he still reserves time for intense self-education, learning rocket science and electric engineering by reading and problem-solving for hours on his own. Why does this work? Neuroscientists call it deliberate practice, a concept that turns regular effort into expert-level skill. When you focus for 1 uninterrupted hour on learning, problem-solving, or creating, your brain enters a state of deep work. That's when new neural connections form faster, and you retain knowledge far better than during scattered multitasking. Let me tell you about Alex, a 24-year-old software engineer. He admired top tech innovators, but felt stuck in his entry-level job. Inspired by the Genius Hour rule, Alex committed to 1 hour of deep learning each night. For a year, he studied artificial intelligence and built small projects on the side. By month 6, he had created a portfolio. By the end of year 1, he landed a job at a cutting-edge startup, and the skills he gained in that single hour a day set him apart from thousands of other engineers. Here's the key takeaway. Extraordinary results don't come from endless hours. They come from focused, consistent hours spent on meaningful work. Asterisk, asterisk, even geniuses don't rely on luck. They rely on their 1 hour habit. So now we've explored how tiny improvements stack up through the compound effect, how Kaizen makes progress feel effortless, and how the Genius Hour rule transforms 1 hour into expert growth. But there's another secret. When you do that hour at the right time of day, your results can multiply. That brings us to the next principle, one that many top performers swear by to supercharge their mornings. So what happens when you take that one powerful hour and place it first thing in the morning? That's what high achievers call the morning power hour, a dedicated block of time before the world gets noisy, where you focus entirely on you. Let's meet Jordan. He's 35, married, 2 kids, full-time job. For years, he told himself, I just don't have time to focus on my goals. He felt stuck. He wanted to write a book, get back in shape, and just feel more in control. But by the time work and family obligations were done, he was exhausted. Then one night, he heard a podcast mention something called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. The idea: wake up just 1 hour earlier and spend that time working on yourself before the day begins. That next morning, Jordan tried it. He sat in silence for 5 minutes, spoke out loud 3 affirmations he'd written the night before, visualized the book he wanted to write, did 20 minutes of yoga, read 2 pages of a personal growth book, and then he wrote just 1 paragraph. It felt small, even silly at first, but by the end of the week, he felt different, clearer, more intentional. By month 2, he was waking up excited. By month 6, he was 20 pounds lighter, had written half his manuscript, and most importantly, he had become the kind of person who honored his own time. That's the power of mornings. Science backs this up. Your willpower is strongest in the morning. Your mind is less cluttered. There's fewer distractions, fewer demands. It's your time. That's why successful leaders, from Tim Ferriss to Robin Sharma, structure their mornings like sacred ground. In fact, Hal Elrod created a framework called Savers to guide the morning power hour. Silence, meditation or prayer. Affirmations. Visualization. Exercise. Eating. Cribbing, journaling or writing. You don't have to do all 6. Even just 2 or 3 can create momentum, because it's not about having the perfect morning. It's about owning your morning, so the rest of the day doesn't own you. So ask yourself, what would change in your life if the first hour of your day was just for you? No distractions, no emails, just 1 hour to grow, reflect, move, and create. Now, if you've been nodding along but secretly wondering, asterisk, can I really stick with this every day? Asterisk, don't worry. The next principle will help you understand why consistency always wins over intensity, and how to stay in the game long enough to see real results. We've talked about the magic of 1 hour a day, and maybe you're thinking, asterisk, all right, I can do this, but what if I miss a day? Or what if I get impatient? Asterisk, here's the truth. Consistency will always beat intensity. It's not the person who runs 10 miles once who transforms their health. It's the person who walks or jogs every day for 30 minutes. Let me tell you about Marcus. At 29, he wanted to learn the guitar. He was fired up the first week, practicing 4 hours in one sitting. But then life happened. He skipped a day, then a week. Then the guitar started collecting dust in the corner. A year later, he tried again. But this time, he promised himself just 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. No more weekend marathons. No pressure to master everything at once. Just one focused, consistent hour. 6 months later, Marcus was playing full songs. After a year, he was performing at small local events. What changed wasn't talent, it was consistency. Science explains why. Our brains thrive on habit loops. When we repeat an action daily, even for a short time, we wire that behavior into our identity. Skipping long, intense bursts and choosing regular, manageable sessions creates what James Clear calls the compounding power of habits. Think of it like this. A single hour a day for 365 days is 365 hours. That's like 9 full 40-hour work weeks dedicated to your goal. Imagine what you could achieve with that much focused effort without ever feeling burned out. And here's something powerful. Consistent action builds self-trust. When you keep a small promise to yourself every day, you start to see yourself differently. You no longer say, I wish I could, because you know, asterisk, I show up, I get things done. Asterisk. This principle applies to everything. 1 hour a day at the gym transforms your body more than a single 6-hour session once a month. Writing 1 page a day will get your book finished faster than sporadic bursts of creativity. Learning a new skill in daily bites beats trying to cram for progress. So don't chase the big heroic effort. Chase the streak. Even if your hour some days is messy or imperfect, it counts. Now that we've seen why consistency beats intensity, the question becomes, how do you make that 1 hour incredibly productive, so it feels like 3 or 4 hours of progress? That's where our next principle comes in, the secret of the focus block, or how to turn a single hour into your most valuable time of the day. If consistency is the engine that keeps you moving, focus is the turbo boost that makes every minute count. Most people think they need more hours to achieve their goals. The truth, you probably just need 1 deeply focused hour, a focus block, to get more done than 3 or 4 hours of distracted effort. Here's a story that proves it. Meet Sarah, 27, a junior graphic designer. She dreamed of becoming a creative freelancer, but struggled to make progress on her portfolio. Her nights were spent working. But in reality, she was checking emails, scrolling social media, and half-heartedly switching between design projects. Then she read about deep work, a concept popularized by Cal Newport. He explained that when you eliminate distractions and give your full attention to one meaningful task, your brain enters a state of flow. That's when time seems to disappear, and the quality of your work skyrockets. Sarah decided to try one simple shift. She would dedicate 1 focus block per evening, just 60 minutes, with no distractions. Phone in another room. Notifications off. 1 clear task chosen before the session started. The first week felt strange. She noticed how often she wanted to check her phone. But by week 2, her focus block became her favorite part of the day. In just 1 month, she finished 2 complete portfolio projects that she'd been procrastinating on for 6 months. Here's why it works. Neuroscientists have discovered that our brains take 15 to 20 minutes to fully enter deep focus. Every time you check your phone or switch tabs, that timer resets. But when you protect 1 uninterrupted hour, your productivity multiplies. So, how can you create your own focus block? 1. Pick your golden hour. For some, it's early morning. For others, it's after dinner. 2. Choose 1 mission, not a to-do list. Just 1 meaningful task. 3. Eliminate distractions. Silence notifications. Use website blockers if needed. 4. Honor the hour. No multitasking, no shortcuts. Treat it like a meeting with your future self. 1 hour of true focus can feel like magic. It's how writers finish books, coders build apps, and dreamers finally see their projects come to life. And here's the best part. Once you stack that focus block on top of consistency, Kaizen, and the compound effect, you create unstoppable momentum. So now you might be wondering, can this 1 hour habit really transform any goal? Health, wealth, creativity, or career? The answer is yes, and in our next section, we'll bring everything together to show how 1 hour a day applies to every life goal you care about. By now, you've seen how 1 hour a day can spark massive change, but here's the exciting part. This principle works for any life goal. Let's start with health. Imagine you dedicate just 1 hour each day to moving your body. That could be 30 minutes of strength training, 20 minutes of cardio, and 10 minutes of stretching or meditation. Do that for a year, and you're not just fitter. You sleep better, feel more confident, and carry yourself differently. Thousands of people have transformed their health not through extreme boot camps, but through one consistent hour a day. Next, let's talk about financial growth. 1 hour a day spent learning new skills, understanding personal finance, or building a side hustle can completely change your financial future. Spend that hour studying online courses in marketing, coding, or design, and in 6 months, you could have the skills to switch careers. Dedicated to learning investing basics, and over time, that knowledge compounds into real wealth-building decisions. Then there's learning and personal growth. Maybe you've always wanted to learn a new language, play an instrument, or finally finish that certification that could boost your career. 1 hour a day is 365 hours in a year. That's like taking a college semester on your own terms. And let's not forget creative dreams. Writers, artists, filmmakers, and content creators often succeed not because of talent alone, but because they showed up for that 1 hour, day after day. 1 hour of writing a day can finish a 200-page book in 6 months. 1 hour of drawing or designing can fill a professional portfolio in under a year. I know what some of you might be thinking. Asterisk, what if my goal feels too big? Asterisk, that's the beauty of this system. Big goals are just a collection of small, repeated hours. Whether you want to lose 50 pounds, save your first $100,000, or finally launch that side business, you can carve the path 1 hour at a time. So here's the challenge. Pick one area of your life, health, wealth, learning, or creativity, and claim just 1 hour a day for it. In 90 days, you'll feel the shift. In a year, you might not even recognize your old self. Now that we've covered how this 1 hour habit applies to every part of your life, it's time to bring everything together and leave you with the powerful emotional takeaway and a challenge you won't forget. So, let's take a moment to step back and imagine this. 1 year from today, you wake up, look in the mirror, and hardly recognize yourself. Not because you bought a new car or hit the lottery, but because you kept a simple promise to yourself, 1 hour a day. Think about what that means. 365 hours invested in your health could mean a body you're proud of, more energy than you've had in years, and confidence that follows you into every room. 365 hours on your career or finances could mean a new skill set, a promotion, a side business, or the start of true financial freedom. 365 hours on a dream project, a book, an app, a YouTube channel, could take it from idea to reality. And here's the emotional payoff. Every hour you invest isn't just about the result. It's about who you become in the process. Someone who follows through. Someone who doesn't wait for the perfect time. Someone who can look back and say, asterisk, I did this for me. Asterisk. Remember Daniel, Emily, Marcus, Sarah, and Jordan? They didn't change their lives overnight. They didn't wait for permission. They just claimed 1 hour a day and let time do the compounding. So here's my challenge to you. Choose your hour. Decide today that your future deserves at least 60 minutes of focus, learning, and growth every single day. If this message hits home, don't just close this video and move on. Start tonight or tomorrow morning. Make your first hour count. And if you want to keep building momentum, I've created another video that dives deeper into how to protect your focus and eliminate distractions, so your 1 hour feels like 3. Click here and watch it next. I promise it will change how you approach every single day. Because your life won't change someday. It changes 1 hour at a time.